Clashers, a lot of people out there are asking for my legend bases, and I thought I would share one of my last bases because I'm starting to build bases again. And the cool thing with this is I will combine it with explaining how I'm building bases because that's what a lot of people are asking for as well. So if you want to know which base link down below you need to copy and what clan caster you should use, well, then you should definitely watch this video because I will explain everything within this video. So you should know what to do with the base links, which are posted down below in the description. As I'm just getting back into base building, I always need some ideas. And this base was actually used by one of my clan members, or like he kind of liked the base. And it defended pretty decent for him in lower trophy range. But one thing which I really wanted to do is kind of make it better for a little bit higher trophy ranges, okay? That was the idea overall, which I was trying to approach. So overall, there's a lot of flaws in this base, which is, for example, flame flinger value. And that is something which a lot of old bases do not really care about because the flame flinger did not exist back then. So for example, this entire compartment, take a look at that. You can take down the entire compartment with just one flame flinger. It is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy value. You can take down the entire bottom side with a flame flinger. You can take down this part of the base with a flame flinger. And you cannot defend everything. So that was the first thing we had to do. Then one thing I did not like is, yes, that's kind of classic in lower legends. But like this setup over here around the tunnel was not really something I liked too much. But before trying to really point fingers at exactly everything I did not like, I would just show you the first version of this base and what I changed and what my thought process behind this was. And this was the first version. The first thing which I did, and which shouldn't be too surprising, is I kind of changed this compartment over here with using the ground expo to defend the flame flinger. The flame flinger at the bottom side is defended with that king together, and then we have the exact same on the left side because this base is symmetrical overall with the majority of defenses. And at the top side, I added some mortars to make this flame flinger at the top side a little bit harder. Okay, it's still possible, but it's way harder now to pull off. Then I kind of completely changed the setup around the top side because yes, you can stack all of the heroes around the top side, but this will only work versus bad players. So I want to have this base working for like trophy range around 5.5k to 5.6k trophies. That was like the adjustment purpose overall. The next thing is, and I feel like that is the thing which I'm most proud of because I completely reworked this bottom part of the base with my own approaches. And the thing which I'm most proud of is this setup. This setup might look kind of like a regular setup, I guess, but one thing which is really cool is the queen cannot reach the air defense from over here. So a lot of people like to charge this bottom side because, let's be honest, who wants to charge into two single inferno towers, two ground expos, and two scatter shots around the top side? That is going to be kind of tricky because exactly take a look at this thing. So this entire base is set up that the queen, if you charge from the top side, if you have survived the single inferno tower, the queen is going to walk in here and it's going to shoot the scatter from this area, which means the clan castle is going to come out, which is going to lock the queen inside this corner, and then you have the single inferno tower exactly with the range as well. It's like a cool little nugget, which should work pretty nice because the fun thing about this is this base, I never used this in Legend. So if you want to try it out, feel free so. This is the first base link down below in the description. And I will show you in a second just the next version. But let's get back to this bottom part, okay? Let's get back to this bottom part because, as I said, people like to charge this bottom area. And the big problem, which they do not really see because they think, okay, I will just charge in here, wall break in here, everything looks good. And then I maybe can add the king or something to this compartment. Everything looks perfect, looks really good. The big thing which they are missing is the hidden not existing wall, which is the wall behind the archer tower. It's a cool little trick which you can do, hiding open walls behind archer towers, because archer towers are too tall, and with that those walls are kind of hidden, even though they're not just there. Which means if a queen is charging in from over here, you cannot wall break this piece of wall, which means the queen has to walk this way. If she's even walking in, sometimes she's even walking like this, but has to walk in like this, and the air defense is shooting non-stop at those healers while the royal champion is distracting the queen, the clan cast is coming out. So it is like a true nightmare, and this is something I was really proud of because it works overall really well. The next cool thing about those two air defenses is they're completely isolated when it comes down to Electro Dragons. That's like the next big thing. We have the storage protecting it, and then we have the air defense completely isolated, not giving any chain value whatsoever. And in between, like a dead zone, like here, which means E-Dragons, which are coming from over here, will probably go like this around the bottom side, and this gives the other air defense then a lot of time to non-stop shoot at them, and still there's no chains onto this air defense. So this is like overall the setup. I'm kind of proud of this, and as I'm recording it right now, I have no clue why I never really used this in Legends. I don't know, because I only used the next base. Let's take a look at that. And this is now the next version. And as I'm looking again at it, I'm still like asking myself why I never used the first version, because both versions look pretty good. This one is way more on the teaser side. You can see the Inferno Tower, which was on the top side, now moved into the core to make it a bit more harder to attack with, for example, Lalo, because that was a big problem with the old base. I guess I never used it. As I said, we only tested it in some friendly challenges. Something which was obviously not working that well. If you're having 3 single Inferno Towers, it typically does not do that well versus Lalo. That's like the problem, okay? So, well, what I did then is move the Inferno Tower into the core, and I stacked everything behind the town hall, pretty much turned it into like a diamond/teaser base. That was the idea, the process, like overall thinking behind it. The one big thing which I do not like though is this setup. You can freeze everything together. That is the only thing which I do not like about this base. Now you could say it's to just move the scatters to the outside, and then you cannot freeze this anymore altogether. Yes, but then again, if someone's playing a blizzard in here, you can take down the town hall and a scatter shot. With having a double tile in between, you cannot reach that scatter anymore with a blizzard. Like the super wizards have not enough range to reach that. So that's the next problem. And if anyone is writing in the comments, iTzu, this base is crap because you can just lightning out of this, you're just stupid. Because who is bringing 7, yeah, you need 7 lightnings in an earthquake, randomly into a legend attack? And if you're facing versus this one person, which maybe somewhere exists in Legends, well, unlucky you. But the majority of us will not face a person like that. So, yeah, the next thing I changed were the sweepers. But you can use them either way, whatever works best for you. I feel like a little bit higher in Legends. As I said, I was meeting more Lalo, so I tried to have the sweeper setup, which is covering more against that. If you're facing more air spam, maybe put the sweepers back here, and let's point them all to the bottom side just, and give the attacker a hard time. That were the 2 bases, or like the 2 versions of the base. I was hopefully able to share a little bit more about what my thought process was. I will give you guys in a second an example of an attack on this base. But before that, this is going to be base link number 2 down below in the description. I recommend overall for both bases, the 1 Lava Hound, 9 Archers, and 1 Headhunter clan castle. And, well, I kind of hope I was able to explain a bit more what my thought process is when I'm going into base building. Because, yes, you can see the entire setup is kind of similar to the base which I showed you in the beginning. But overall, there's like 2 complete different bases, okay? And that's like the thing. If you're going into base building, and that's what I'm doing at the moment, I'm kind of coming back to base building, I need some inspiration. And without having that, it's kind of tricky for me to build bases. So, yeah, that's just how it is for me. Let me know if it's the same for you, if you're building any bases. But this is kind of how I turn a base into a completely different base, even though I use it as inspiration. But now, let's take a look at a test, how this base defends if some people are using air against it. So this was one of our latest potluck matches. And as I said in the beginning, I had the sweepers like this. Because it's defending better versus air spam. The other option is defending better versus Lalo then again. Depending on your trophy range, you have to choose that. And he's going in with air. And one quick disclaimer, because I see a lot of times, like even screenshots going around with, I 3-star iTzu and whatever, like in the clan war and everything, which is fine. I'm happy people are getting excited about it. But remember, if you're attacking me and it's a fail, just to build up some pressure, you might have end in a video like this, okay? Me promoting my base with your attack. So, it's always going either direction. Either way, this guy is kind of like flying to both sweepers because, as I said, you try to defend what a lot of people are doing by default. And as soon as they're seeing a teaser base like this, or like an diamond-shaped base like this, like with the overall setup, with like kind of like a huge like just box with eagle one side and then the town on the other side on the corner, people just by default use the air spam most of the time from the eagle side and just send a really risky blimp, which you then can try to defend. And that's kind of like what the setup is. And as I said, this base did incredible in the low to mid trophy range with generating a lot of 1-stars, because a lot of people are just not getting to the town hall. And then again, it is so protected, okay? It is so protected with the double scatter and everything, so there is so much damage. And if you have not saved a lot of spells, well, you're going to run short on your power, and this is going to give me a nice defense. So overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know how you like this video. If I should do my best, but it's always like this. I try to do a little bit more, like, I don't know, trying to give more tips on how I approach my bases, what the thought process behind this is. I don't know if it's too boring. I don't know if whatever. Let me know down below in the comments, and I will try to adjust it based on your feedback, because in the end, those videos are supposed to support you, to motivate you to build your own bases. This is the entire idea about this. And if you're too lazy to do that, well, just copy YouTube bases. And if you're too tired of everyone using YouTube bases, get your own get your own YouTube bases. Get your own bases on RH Base Building on their Discord server, and you can use code iTzu if you want to have some nice yeah, I have a little bit of a cheaper option over there. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.